Another video for you with new stories from Ethiopia and Eritrea. Before these four new stories, in a previous video I shared a statement of Eskinder Nega's Baldiras party which urged Oromos, Amharas, residents of Addis Ababa, all Ethiopians to condemn Valaga killings and to protest against the government. I said that Eskinder Nega had no plans announced to return to Ethiopia. Several viewers contacted me. They said Saji Eskinder was interviewed by ESAT and he has announced to return to Ethiopia in 2 weeks. I did not watch Eskinder's interview there. So since several viewers are sharing this information, so according to Eskinder Nega, he will return to Ethiopia in 2 weeks. Question is, will he return or not? Because more than around 2 weeks ago, Baldiras party leader who is in prison these days, Sintaye Chikol, said that Eskinder will return to Ethiopia in a week. 2 weeks have passed and Eskinder has not returned to Ethiopia. It would be interesting to see if Eskinder returns to Ethiopia, what will he do? Will he proactively challenge the government? Will he speak against the government? Because we are seeing that atmosphere is not conducive to criticism against government in Ethiopia these days. Whoever is criticizing the government, especially the ongoing Operation Amharian, is being arrested. So, first question is, will Eskinder return? And if he returns, what will he do? Will he keep quiet in Ethiopia or will he continue his criticism of the government? That remains to be seen. Now, four new stories. First one is from Eritrea, viewers. Today, Eritrean Information Ministry released a statement. The statement is about Eritrean Martyrs. On the 20th of June, Eritrea commemorated Martyrs Day to remember the sacrifices of those Eritrean fighters who fought between 1961 and 1991. Today, Eritrean government shared details about how it is taking care of the families of martyrs. Second news story is from Tigray, Afar border. According to some Afar news sources, several Tigray youth have been recovered who were trying to leave Tigray, who were trying to enter Tigray while hiding in some aid trucks. Thirdly, very important news story, it has now been confirmed that several Eritrean soldiers are in Afar. They have been shifted to a refugee camp in Afar. More than a week ago, Eritrean Afar National Congress EANC released two statements. EANC claimed that around 500 Eritrean soldiers of Afar ethnicity had defected and some of them entered Afar. Now we have details available. It seems that more than a dozen Eritrean soldiers are in Ethiopia and they are at a refugee camp in Ethiopia. Lastly, we have a new story from northwestern Tigray. An NGO has shared a video from the settlements of IDPs. How are IDPs surviving in northwestern Tigray? We have a clip for you. Firstly, viewers, 20th of June was Eritrean Martyrs Day. Ceremonies were held in Eritrea, abroad as well, to commemorate the sacrifices of Eritrean martyrs who sacrificed for the independence of Eritrea. Eritrea gained independence in 1991. Today, Eritrean government released a statement which is basically an interview of a man who is in charge of Eritrean Martyrs Welfare Department. And this interview is about how Eritrean government is taking care of martyrs' families. Zare Tekliab is director of Martyrs Welfare Office in Eritrea. He says that families of martyrs who were killed between 1961 and 1991 are being provided assistance. In 1995, first phase of this assistance was launched and each family was given 10,000 birds. After that, it was decided that monthly assistance should be provided. And from 2004 till 2021, Eritrean government has distributed 5.2 billion nakfas among the families of martyrs who were killed decades ago. The government says that there are 15 fixed welfare centers across the country which are distributing assistance to the families, and there are several mobile units as well. Who is funding this assistance? According to Zare Tekliab, government is funding. Secondly, private individuals in Eritrea. And thirdly, Eritrean diaspora. Eritrean diaspora members have taken responsibilities for some families, and on monthly basis they send money to these families. And local Eritreans who are whose financial condition is good, they are also supporting these families. So basically, Eritrean government is saying that it has not forgotten its martyrs. Its martyrs' families are responsibility of the government. They are being given financial assistance, and they are being given loans and grants to start businesses as well. If Eritrea has been supporting its martyrs for the last 20 years, well, it should be appreciated that Eritrea has not forgotten its martyrs. Eritrea should not forget its youth as well, which is fleeing Eritrea. If youth is fleeing Eritrea, it means there are some genuine problems which the government needs to address. Second news story is from Tigray, Afar border wards. According to some Afar news sources, Tigrayan youth are trying to flee Tigray, and several have been recovered. They were hiding in some trucks. Could be 8 trucks which are returning from Tigray and entering Afar, or some other trucks. But they were hiding in some trucks and they were recovered. Why are Tigrayan youth fleeing Tigray? Lucy Casa 3 days ago shared a piece for the Guardian newspaper. And Lucy, though a Tigrayan, seen as pro-Tigray, made it clear in her piece that Tigray youth was fleeing Tigray because there was conscription in Tigray, hunger, and arbitrary arrests as well. So they are left with no option but to fight or to leave Tigray. And since there are no legal channels, so they are either at the mercy of smugglers or they hide in vehicles, like we are seeing that on Afar Tigray border. Several were found hidden in the trucks, and they were recovered by a checkpost on Tigray Afar border. Thirdly, was very important news story. It's about Eritrean soldiers who defected. The news was shared by a diaspora group. Eritrean Afar National Congress, EANC. This EANC is a diaspora body which has been struggling for an independent Afar state. EANC is of this view that Afar region of Eritrea, Ethiopia and Djibouti Afar as well, there should be one Afar state for the Afar people. And this group is working abroad. This group shared a statement around 2 weeks ago. EANC claimed that Afar soldiers, part of Eritrean Defence Force, in Eritrean Defence Force there are Afar soldiers like they are in ENDF. Afar soldiers, part of ENDF, defected, around 500, and they fled towards Afar Eritrea border, Ethiopia Eritrea border. Then in the second statement, EANC claimed that 2 Eritrean generals, they launched an aerial operation in Afar region of Ethiopia, and 54 soldiers were intercepted by Eritrean Defence Force, 36 were arrested and 18 went missing. And EANC called upon international community that these 36 soldiers should be given access to, because their lives could be in danger. Now, where are the 18 soldiers? Today, a news source, a reliable news source, claimed, Africa Intelligence, that 18 Eritrean soldiers are in Afar region, and they are at Asaita refugee camp. Asaita refugee camp is in Afar region. It's close to Afar Djibouti border. So the Eritrean soldiers have been removed from the border, Eritrea Afar border, and they have been shifted to this Asaita refugee camp, which is on Somali region Afar border. African Intelligence has confirmed. So it means that EANC's story was not a rumor. It was based on some developments which happened in Eritrea, though no statement from Eritrean government so far. No statement from Ethiopian government too, but Africa Intelligence claims, based on its exclusive sources, that 18 Eritrean soldiers are at Asaita refugee camp. Now, originally 500 defected. It means that hundreds could be missing, somewhere in Afar, somewhere in Eritrea, but at least 18 have been confirmed that they are in Afar region of Ethiopia. Lastly, we have a video clip for you from northwestern Tigray. I think the clip is a bit old, 2 months old. I think the clip shows the plight of IDPs. How are they surviving? IDPs sites are increasing. The clip has been shared by an NGO working in these areas. Had there been no NGOs, how would the people of Tigray had survived? These NGOs are blamed that they are involved in, they are interfering in Ethiopia, but these NGOs have served the people of Tigray. Watch this video from northwestern Tigray. Thanks for watching.
We're travelling to some IDP settlements in Tigray, which is in the northwestern region of Ethiopia. In November 2020, conflict broke out, forcing thousands to flee for their lives.
When I was here in January, there were 3 sites for IDPs, or internally displaced populations. Unfortunately, being back here almost 2 months later, we now have 16 locations. And today I'm in one of the most recently opened ones, where people have gathered just in the last 2 weeks. There are about 128,000 people registered as IDPs in this site.
These temporary camps are mostly school buildings, where before COVID and before the conflict, children would be coming for classes to learn. Camps are often crowded, under-equipped and lacking in the basics like water, like sanitation and food.
For those who arrived after rooms were allocated, their shelter is as tarpaulins and different materials they have put together to try and fit their family and any relatives and children that come under one roof.
Those living in these temporary shelter locations rely on aid or assistance from others for everything, especially food and water.
This camp has some water provision, and we have many of the children lining up to fill up their various containers. As you can see in the group surrounding me,